Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? Welcome back. And if you are here for the first time, or if this is one of the first times you're tuning in, welcome. My name is Talia Joy. I'm an intuitive channel. I'm a mentor, guide, helping you to heal, manifest, upgrade, transform the self, and basically step into the life you see for yourself in your mind's eye. That's why you're drawn to self-growth. That's why you're drawn to manifestation. It's because you're here to not just do more. Yes, we've got amazing stuff we want to do, but you're here to be more. You're here to become your highest self. You're here to heal and grow and create abundance and purpose and joy. And this is what we do on the show. So we cover all the things. And today's topic is so important, whether you're one of those people that kind of identifies as like a driven badass, got all the stuff going on, or you're someone who's maybe in a little bit of a sacred pause right now where you don't know what's going on, or maybe you're one day and then one the next day like me. It's like, ultimately, I'm moving forward, but some days are heavy and confusing. So if you are anywhere in that, today's episode is really going to help. And it's something I resisted, and you're just going to have to trust me, but we're talking about rest. And I can't wait for you to just dive into all of this. But if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. My name is Talia Joy. I'm an intuitive channel. I'm a mentor and guide, and I help my clients step into the life that they are truly here for, the one that they see in their mind's eye. So we blend manifestation with self-growth, personal development, emotional healing, and really do the work to become who we're meant to be. Not just more doing, more expansion, more freedom, more truth, more authentic self. And that becomes the pathway to manifest what you are here for. So that got very long-winded. Ultimately, I help you step into the life you see in your mind's eye. So enough with the weird intro. I am very happy you're here. And to everyone checking in, how are we doing actually? How are you actually doing? Not just, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? How are we? Are you hydrated? Have you been moving your body? Have you been resting? How's it been going? How's the nervous system? How are the emotions? All the things. Checking in. Maybe take a sip of your water, drop your shoulders, and just know you're doing a really good job. I am so excited, as I'm saying, for today's topic. This is so important, something that your nervous system has been craving, something that I definitely resisted, and you may resist it as well. We are talking about rest. We are talking about rest as a power move. And how it's not about falling behind. It's not about like, oh, but if I'm not doing, then I'm not gonna. It's not about not doing, and it's not about like failing in some way or doing less in some sort. Like, it doesn't take away. As you'll see in the episode, and as I'm sure you already know, it adds. Rest actually helps to activate your next level through an intentional pause. And again, this is something that I have deeply resisted, but high caliber transformation, real quantum leaps, real transformation requires rest. And before we even get into the episode, I want you to think about if you are at the gym, right? Literally, personal trainers say to rest those muscles. If you're like, no, I'm going to do my glutes every day, and every day I'm going to up it by 10%, like even a personal trainer would be like, that's not a good idea. Why? Because you're not resting the muscle. You're not letting it repair. You're just driving it again, which what is that going to lead to? Everybody say it with me. It's going to lead to an injury physically, right? That's the reason I would guess why a personal trainer would say not to do that, because it's actually going to lead to more harm than good, even if you're incredibly driven. And so I know often we have so many roles and so many things we're doing. And that's a lot of my story is like, I can not rest because either my business needs me, or my kids need me, my family needs me, my life needs me. I've got this commitment. There's this appointment on this day, the roles we play. And for me personally, maybe it's part empath, part starseed. It's hard for me. It's draining, and I require rest. But it's so easy every day to be like, oh, but this other thing needs to be done, because it's like laundry. Like there's just always more. You can't ever actually get to the end of it because there's always stuff to do. So as cheesy as it sounds, we have to start prioritizing rest. So in this episode, we're going to talk to why we need to prioritize rest without feeling guilty, but also what true rest really is and how we can get it into our day, how we can have intentional pauses. And again, I'm a mom of 3 with a business, with a busy life, just like you do. So I'm not someone who sits around all day. I started chuckling because I saw the other day, I think it was on YouTube, it was like a short. It said something about when your 21-year-old friend with no kids says that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And it showed him, I think, like fingering the camera or something. And it's just funny because when we do have these extra things, we've got a full-time job, we've got our family commitments, maybe you have children, maybe you have a business like I do, whatever it is, schooling, we've got a lot going on. And it can feel like we don't have time to rest, because if we can't go on the vacation, we're not resting at home often. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going off script. Not that there's a script, but I'm going off the books. So let's just dive into today's episode. Before we do, I just want to quickly say, in real time, the shift weekend, talk about rest and restore and nourishment. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is a digital retreat and transformation weekend going on April 19th and 20th. It is so good. If you have not grabbed your ticket, this is becoming the last chance at the time of recording. It's, in a very short amount of time, like in a week or so. And I am so excited. It's 2 days. We start with morning meditations. We have transformational workshops. We're going to hang out. We're going to chill. There might be a dance party. We're going to mix energetic activation with self-growth. And I keep saying, if a self-growth weekend and a retreat had a baby, this is what it would be. It's going to be nourishing, expanding. It's going to be so good. Join me for the Shift weekend. The link for that is below. And the other thing that I wanted to mention that I can't actually share too much yet, the in-person retreat is happening. The tentative dates are September 19th to 22nd. We are going through all the finalizing of all the things as we speak. So I will have much more information to come, but it is September 2025 on Vancouver Island. It's actually on a smaller island off of this island, but in Canada, in my neck of the woods. And I can't wait to meet 10 of you in person, to share space, to have circles, to really give ourselves the rest, the nourishment for our awakening, for our growth. This is true you time, and it's nestled in the healing woods of the Pacific Northwest. So it's very nourishing, healing ground. It's Indigenous land, and it's just such a beautiful space that we're going to connect in. If you're feeling called to an in-person retreat this fall, the link is below to get on the wait list. And this is just for information as it's released and as everything is finalized. So I cannot wait. I will definitely share more to come. All right. Let's dive into today's episode. Grab a sip of your beverage, maybe a sip of your tea or your coffee, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and let's get into today's episode. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm so excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life. My name is Talia Joy, and I am committed to showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to go on a magical journey of spiritual and self-growth to manifest the life you're meant for, we are now besties. Let's dive in. Okay, so I want to start with some straight truth. Rest isn't a weakness, it's wealth. Rest is not slowness as in non-action, as in falling behind. It is your wealth. It is your power. It is a recalibration tool. Ground down to rise up. Everything in nature needs time to unfold. As I said in the intro, you will hurt a muscle if you just hit it over and over and over again with weights or with, whatever you're doing. And we've been taught to believe, most of us, and let me know if you resonate, taught to believe that if we're not doing something, we're falling behind. If we pause, everything's going to collapse. But that's not the way that energy truly works. And your next level doesn't arrive through burnout. Your highest self is not pushing and forcing and striving, right? So your higher self might be taking action, might have, high pressure job or run a company or have a bunch of children or, whatever that dream life is. It's not that that version of you doesn't do anything, but they're not burnt out. They're not stressed. They're not frantic. They're not depleted, right? They arrive there through resonance, through becoming it, through finding their power, through showing up in their life, nurturing themselves, nurturing their goals. And that's something I think of when I think about my business, and I think of like a powerful CEO isn't just like at 2 a.m. writing more emails. In my experience, I actually have had clients that's their zone is 2 a.m. and that's when they do their best stuff, not me. But what I mean is like my CEO, my healthiest, happiest, serving the world, spreading my message, believing in myself, being abundant, all that version of me isn't hunched over her computer day in and day out, back hurting and like, gotta get out another email, gotta force this algorithm. Like that's just not my path to success. I know that I have to look after myself, and that positively impacts the business. I want to go all into this, but I don't want to get off on a tangent. But it truly actually makes me a better mentor. It makes my channel more clear. It makes my work with clients more potent when I take rest, because that's how energy works. So your next level didn't arrive there through burnout. And life responds to who you are being, not just how busy you look. And this makes me chuckle because I think that I've made things even more complicated for myself than I needed to, because that's the way to success. Like it has to be complicated kind of thing, right? Is a belief that I had. And it's just not true. Life responds to who you are, not just how busy you look or how many things you've got going on, like it's a badge of honor. And I'm going to give you those kudos that I know what it's like to hold up a lot of different things. And I'm sure that that's you as well. And so I don't want to underestimate how much of like a superwoman, superman, super person that you truly are for all that you carry. And moving forward, we don't need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders in order to step forward, in order to become successful. And rest isn't stepping away from your goals. It's you aligning with them, you actually taking time to align with them. And being an older soul, you can't avoid the like looking after yourself piece. And I really resonate and see like soul levels. My team shows me these things and how it's like when you're at certain soul levels, and it's not good or bad. It's just almost like 1 to 10, how old of a soul you are, pardon me. You'll have different priorities in life. It's like you're here for different things. And as you get to become an older soul, you're here for personal transformation, for awakening, for, becoming all you're meant to be and spreading that light, whether it's to your children, to a business, you're creative, you have to almost channel that light and make the world a better place, basically, in whatever scale that means. As an older soul, you're more into that stuff. And so we cannot avoid things like rest, things like looking after ourselves, because there are, we have all the badges of honor all over our walls for all the stuff we've done. But can you be wise enough to rest? My team said that to me only a couple months ago. Can you be wise enough to restore, to nourish? And I was like, damn, that's good. So rest isn't you stepping away from your goals or pausing your goals. It's about making sure that your energy is right, that you're looking after you while you're quote unquote going after them, when you're making moves, because burnout leads to more burnout. So I have one of my private clients, and she's a powerhouse. She's got a business, she's raising kids, she's holding it all together, especially on the outside, right? But when she came to me, she was in full burnout energy, and she almost felt like she was borderline depressed, but she's going through this life and everything looks fine, but like I'm missing something and I'm exhausted and I'm not making enough money and that type of thing. And She really truly felt, and I can relate so much to this, she truly felt that if she slowed down, she's going to lose momentum, which I totally understand. If you're training for the Olympics, maybe not taking a break when you're a week away. I get that there's a time and a place to build, 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 build. But most of us are not training for the Olympics tomorrow, and we are actually looking for a life that we can sustain. We want sustainability. We want ongoing happiness and joy, and not just up and down and up and down, right? So anyway, my client really truly felt that if she slowed down, she would lose momentum. And so as we worked on intentional rest and recalibration, so the things that lit her up, going for a hike, taking this small walking trail by her house, like things she could actually do that really nourished her. We looked at the nervous system first. We looked at joy and pleasure levels first. And just when you can, getting in these moments, she started to notice that she felt much less burnt out at work, like things like she could focus more toward the end of the day. And then shortly after, she signed this huge client, this huge deal that she was really, really hoping for after taking a long weekend off. And she's like, I didn't even check emails. I was out in the trees. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. But this is because her energy was finally available for what she was calling in. The universe doesn't just want you to get things. The universe wants you to look after yourself and love yourself first and foremost. So rest is actually a power move. And I love how my client, as she started just infusing more pleasure, infusing more restful moments, infusing more nervous system recalibration, she really did start receiving more, and she felt better, like most importantly, more emotionally stable, mentally, all that. And it's a journey, nobody's just from A to Z overnight and everything's great, but it's this freeing of energy that we can be more creative. We can give back to people, the people in our lives that need us. We can be more patient. It's all these other things as well. Some people feel like, or you might feel like, rest is kind of like checking out. Again, it's like if I'm not monitoring my business, if I'm not checking in on the kids, if I'm not doing this and that, it's not checking out. It's you checking in. It's creating space for your inspired ideas, your healing realizations, your breakthroughs, for clarity to drop in, for alignment to be experienced. When you rest, you stop forcing and you start receiving, which is the next part I want to talk about, is that rest is receiving energy. You don't need more hours. You need deeper energy in the hours that you have. You need more rest. It's like a vitamin. It's like such a big bang for your buck. So there's also different levels of physically what it does for us. And, my dad was always someone that he would always have a quick, like he had it to a science. It was like a 16-minute nap or something that would rejuvenate him, but not too much, or like a 22-minute nap, something. Anyway, if you nap, you know what I'm talking about, but I don't nap. And I also have chronic pain. And I find that when my body really hurts and I just lay down on the couch or on the bed in like the middle of the day, could you imagine that? Even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I need to get into making dinner, it makes such a big difference. So physically, just kicking your feet up for a few minutes, or sort of going to the couch or going to bed earlier in the evening, or having a restful, slow morning if you can, or just taking time to physically rest is so important, and it revitalizes you for what's to come. But then also that inner rest. And I'm going to say it, and I don't even know if this is like possible for most humans in this day and age, but de-stimulated time. So I'm like, no phone. If you want to do relaxation music and stuff, great. But sometimes I'll sit and like watch something on YouTube and it's restful, but I'm talking about a deeper rest. And the reason why is because when we don't have stimulation, your brain and your intuition, you start thinking new thoughts. You start receiving things you've never received before. And I've started hearing more about how, again, I know this like feels impossible, but how if you sat in silence for 90 minutes, it changes your life. You will receive the clarity. Your mind starts to detox. Your nervous system is totally reset. Your soul will start speaking to you. So not all of us can do 90 minutes or 90 minutes a day or whatever, but I want you to start to stretch toward really implementing more intentional rest, more time when you put down the phone, put down the stimulation, and truly just lay there, just rest and see what starts to happen in your body. Okay, imagine a bow and arrow. And when you're pulling back on the bow, that is like when we're resting, we're pulling back, but it's not because we're retreating in a passive way. It's because you're about to launch forward and launch forward with power and precision. So rest is like the pullback and expansion is like the release. And we're not always aggressively, pulling back, moving forward like that. But rest is this recalibration. It's this deep nourishment to our nervous system, to our mind, to our body. And so rest is like that pullback. And then even like if you lay down in the day for 15 minutes, you get back up and you're like, okay, let's go. You all of a sudden have the thrust forward. Yes, I said that. It's like the expansion comes, right? So I want you to start to think of rest as a beautiful receptive mode and as the way that we recalibrate and restore to actually launch us into our next level. So rest is like an energetic investment. In my day, I've really been more disciplined with not only like working out, moving my body, but also having time where I just starfish on my yoga mat and I'll set a timer for something like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever I can. And I've been really practicing actually being in silence for 5-10 minutes and just no attachment. I could close my eyes, I can open, I can breathe, I can be thinking about dinner. It doesn't really matter. It's more about just being and just breathing. So rest is an energetic investment with a high ROI. You feel better after, you feel more clear. Physically, your body is better able to detox and digest and replenish the muscles and get the nutrients to everywhere that it needs to go. Your nervous system starts to catch up with your manifestations because again, your future self is more regulated. They're looking after themselves at a higher level. They're more calm. They're more even, right? That's rest. That's nervous system. So your nervous system needs to expand. I just dropped a deep dive on the path for any of you members on how we need to expand our capacity to hold more in our nervous system because we're in a quantum leap month. So we're talking about that very physical part. If you're not a member of On the Path, check below. You should be. It's amazing. Anyways, so in order to receive more money, to get the promotion, to meet somebody, to really embody that next level self, it requires a little bit more of you, not in effort and not in like, you just have to go be brave. It's in your nervous system. It's to be able to hold your next level so that your body knows it's safe to grow. So when you honor its cycles, not override them, your body feels safe. When you rest for a minute and just go, your body feels safe. When you tune in, when you take a moment off, your body feels safe. When you're depleted, when you're exhausted, when you're starving, your body doesn't feel safe. When you're running on empty, when you're not getting enough sleep, your body doesn't feel safe. So how can we expect to expand and move forward when we're physically not creating the vessel that can? So it's almost like expecting your car to be a race car, but you haven't changed out the engine or motor if, say, it's like a minivan. Like you have to transform the vehicle to receive what it is you want. And again, your highest self, she's chilling. She's meditating. She's looking after herself. Nutrition, exercise, it's not perfect, but they've moved in that direction, right? So rest is the portal to your most magnetic state. If you truly want a quantum leap, your body has to believe it's safe to grow. So another thing I wanted to say is I've just gone through, if you guys have been listening, you've been hearing me talk about it a little bit, but a couple of months of like total breakdowns, spiritually, physically, all the things. And just the heaviness of life, it's like it swells up sometimes. And then I got sick in the middle. And so I was physically, purging, going through the, like, my body's fevering and, like, going through the, like, cleansing process, we'll call it. But through that, I deepened into this concept, which is why I'm recording this episode. I deepened into it because I saw very clearly how I was nervous system wise, first and foremost, running myself ragged, and then physically. And then it was like, and when do you, like, do things just for you? This was my team talking to me. Not for a payoff, not for an outcome, not to be successful, not for other people, just for you. And I had this whole realization around how I need to prioritize me time, which is restful. It's like, what do I want to do? What rests and resets me? So whether that's a walk in the forest or physically, like, napping more, having a day bath, what do I need to nourish myself? And so I've just been going through another season of this too. And I want to remind you that you're not behind. Rest does not make you lazy. You're not too much for needing more time to yourself, more space, more quiet. And we rest because we're here to lead ourselves, not leak all of our own power. We rest so that we can lead ourselves. This is your permission slip to drop the guilt. You become a better you. And if you have little humans to look after, if you have a job, if you have family members, relationships, it makes you more functional when you are well rested, right? Like, if you're not rested, and I don't just mean sleep, I mean all this stuff we're talking about, if you're frazzled, if you're running on empty in every way, you're not showing up to the full capacity for the people that you claim to want to. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not resting because my kids need me or because this needs me or whatever, but we're not even doing a great job when we are depleted. So I'm just saying that from me to you as a pep talk, but this is also what I'm going through and what I'm realizing. And I also realize for you parents that when I just sit down and say, I'm taking 10 minutes to just sit down, I'm also teaching my kids boundaries. I'm teaching my kids that they can ask for what they need and that rest is important, right? So I also want to say that sometimes, like, we have a bigger influence on people when we're like, no, I'm going to choose to stay in and rest. And all of a sudden your friend's like, oh, I want to stay in and rest, but I'm going out. And then you inspire an idea in them, right? So rest is intentional. Rest is a power move. Rest is the bow and arrow, and it brings you back to sling you forward into what you want. So a few ways that we can make this tangible. I want you to powerfully choose rest moments. It could be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you want. No phone. You can do music if you want. But no stimulation, no scrolling, no texting a friend, just you, your body, your breath. I like to put out my yoga mat and my foam roller and just see what I get up to with some gentle music. I'll start on my back and then I'll twist and I'll stretch. And then pretty soon I'm in a plank and I'm like, how did that happen? And, stretching some more and rolling out. And then I'm shaking through emotion. And, it's amazing what can happen. Or you could just simply starfish on your mat and just set a timer for even 4 minutes and just breathe. Whether you want to go deep into meditation or whether you just take a second in your car, take a moment to rest, especially if you're around a lot of humans, if you're an empath. It's okay to go to your car and take a second. It's okay to go outside on the back deck for like a breather. It's okay to take a break. I've joked before with my empath community. Sometimes I think people probably think I have like a bladder problem because at a social gathering, I'll go to the bathroom just to stand there. And sometimes washing my hands with warm water and just standing in the bathroom and breathing is all I need to get back out and get through like the small talk. You know what I mean? So intentionally choosing rest moments. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, music or silent, whatever you want to do, but just you and your body, just you and your breath. Another thing that you can do at any time, including right now with me or while you're driving, while you're working, let go of all the muscles in your stomach. And even practice this right now. It's the last thing that most women do because we're kind of taught to like stand up tall and suck in. So it's the opposite. It's like let go of all your belly muscles and then do it another time. And just almost to the point where you're pushing out your belly like you're trying to look pregnant. It's like just let it all go. That resets your nervous system. That is like a wave is how I feel it, like a wave of rest, of relaxation. It tells your body we are safe. So intentionally choose pockets of no stimulation, and then multiple times a day, just let go of your belly as you're driving, as you're doing the dishes, before bed, whenever you want, let go of all the muscles in your belly and just going like, right now I rest. Right now I relax. And then I challenge you to take more time in your week, in your month, to have a section of your day that's just for you. A section of your day to go for a walk or to have a half day where you go for a drive or go to the beach or, something for you. Because more hustle and more doing is not what you truly came here for. And at the end of your life, you want to look back and see that you enjoyed your life, that you actually lived it, that you took time for you, that you took time for pleasure, right? Like rest is in some ways, I know I said it's not a luxury, it has to be a necessity, but in some ways rest is luxury. Like why are we working so hard? Why do we want to manifest all this money? Why do we want the success? So that we can relax, so that we can lay on a beach somewhere, so that we're not stressed about payments or whatever, right? So it's almost like even behind what we truly want is rest and freedom and relaxation. We just have this idea that we have to hustle now to rest later. And yes, we're building success. Yes, we're building things that set us up for later. That's true. But we don't have to completely burn out in the process. We don't have to completely run ourselves ragged, right? So today we are talking about how rest is a power move. Go out, get those gold stars by taking breaths, by taking time to yourself, schedule more rest into your life because you deserve it. And as you rest, your desires move towards you. As you rest, you become magnetic. And say that to yourself. As I rest, I magnetize. As I rest, I heal. So rest your way into expansion. And I hope that this resonated with you today because your next level, it's not waiting for you to hustle. And it's not so much a code you have to crack. It's waiting for you to harmonize, to align, to resonate with that next level. Does that make sense? So again, I hope that this served you. If you want to join me in the Shift digital retreat or the fall 2025 physical in-person retreat, I would love to see you there. The links for everything is below, as well as the link to On the Path, my private community where I take you step by step. And this month, April, is Quantum Month. So trainings, meditations, energetic activations, practices, everything you need to quantum leap. On the Path is the place to be to actually step into the how do I do the work and what do I do? That's what we address over on the Path. So I will see you there. I'll see you in the show notes and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope that it served you. So before you go, I want to share something with you. If you're loving these conversations about self-growth and healing and moving forward, and you're really ready for more tools, more implementation, more integration, more structure, more what do I do? I invite you over to On the Path. This is my only private community, and honestly, it's the place to be if you want to integrate, if you want to deepen your journey and you find my work helpful. Here's the vibe: bite-sized practices, ongoing support, deep dive episodes, weekly practices, monthly challenges, literally just keeping you on your path, showing up for yourself day by day, week by week, month by month. So this is where you really put it into action, and I've got your back with these assignments, tools, practices, shifts, deep dives, meditations, journal prompts, and literally everything you could need to carve out your unique journey of self-growth, self-healing, and transformation. So I'm not going to go on and on. If you feel called, you feel called. And if you check below, because you made it all the way to the end of this, you'll find a link to join On the Path for the first month for only $11. So after that, it's just $27 a month and you can go at any time. Okay, my love, I genuinely hope this episode lit you up, and I can't wait to welcome you over to On the Path, and I cannot wait to see you also in the next episode. Thanks so much and have a great day.